There, Earl. Russ. Welcome to Stream Queens Con 2. I'm having such a good time watching these panels. This is the third panel of the day. I'm so excited. How is everyone doing? Are we all having fun? I'm sort of freaking out. This has had so much planning to it. I'm so excited. Anyway, hi, I'm Dear. My name is Dear Let's Play with You Fear, and today we're going to be chatting about the art of setting oneself apart. And so what does that mean? Have you ever seen an artist that just looks so unique? What they do is just out of this world. It's literally innovation within drag. And so that's what we're going to talk about. So let's meet our amazing, gorgeous panelists. Hi, wave to the kids.
Hi.
So I'm just gonna go down the line and allow y'all to introduce yourselves. Is that cool? Does that sound good?
Sounds good.
All right. Well, let's start with Arson Nikki. Who are you? What do you do? What sets you apart in your own words? And tell us about yourself.
Thank you for that lovely introduction, dear. Hello, everyone. My name is Arson Nikki. I am a drag artist, a multimedia installation artist, a music artist, an experimental performance artist, and I like to tell folks that I do all of those things, but through the lens of drag. Drag is not just the genre that I do, it's like the lens through which I see the entire world of my creativity. So I feel like that's a part of what, sets me apart, but we can get into that later.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Arson Nikki. So happy that you're here. We're gonna go to Hungry. Is she hungry? Anxiety. She goes by many names, but she is.
Who is she?
She is so unique, so amazing. Tell us about yourself.
Thank you. I'm Hungry. I'm a Berlin-based visual artist. I work in performance, costuming, and makeup, mostly known through my makeup, I suppose. But I do like to think that it's the mix of it all because they're all kind of equally important to me. And yeah, I've been doing it for a while, a few years professionally now, and so I think I kind of digged myself a cute little cave, and yeah,
I
made
can
my
I can
made
see
my
it.
little mark.
You're in a
Thank you.
cave right now. Thank you so much, Hungry. Thank you for joining us today. And last but not least, we have Yovska. Who are you? What do you do? What makes you different? And I mean, I'm pretty sure all of you look quite unique. But tell us in your own words what sets you apart.
Hi, besties. My name is Yovska, drag creature here on Twitch. I'm a Canadian drag performer and performance artist. I was featured on a little show called Dragula. If you've heard of it, it's like alternative drag competition. And I guess what sets me apart is I'm creepy and cute and funny, overall talent.
You sure are.
And
You
yeah,
sure are.
oh my gosh, thank you. Oh my God.
Absolutely. So I just wanted to get that out of the way because it can be really awkward sometimes, I feel like, to talk about ourselves and like what makes us special, what makes us unique. But truly, like, even if y'all said nothing, oh, nothing sets me apart. Y'all's work, y'all's repertoire really sets yourself apart from every single person in the whole world. All three of you are complete individuals, unmistakably. And I wanted to pick your brains and get to know y'all a little more and let the audience get to know you a little bit more. First, I just want to say we are raising for AMFAR. It's the Foundation for AIDS Research. There's donation links in the chat. We also have merch for the entire con. You can get shirts, you can get stickers, just something to remember the experience by. But all y'all in the chat, don't sleep on those. Take a look at them, get into it, give to charity. It's amazing. Okay, I've got a whole list of questions to ask y'all. This is an interview. Are you ready?
Oh my God, I love it.
And so the way this is going to work, I want y'all to volunteer, or if everyone wants to talk a lot, I can go down the line. But I'd like y'all to volunteer to speak on these things. So feel free to be like, I'll answer. Me, pick me. Mom, Okay, so what caused y'all to take beauty norms, turn them upside down, make them into your own? Because all of you do something unique and different, and I think that y'all are faces that pretty much launched ships, made people think outside the box, and maybe try something that they had never tried. So, what made you want to do that? Anyone? Anyone at all?
I guess for me, when I started doing what I do, I started inside the ballroom scene. If you guys are familiar with that, that's where they do the voguing, the runway, the this and this. And so I started in a category called bizarre, which was like bring avant-garde fashion, but like make it like really weird and wacky. And so I started walking that, and it's something that I felt really fit, like what I wanted to do as an artist. And so I kind of just went with it, and it just led to another thing, and then I ended up doing drag, sort of, I guess. Pushing that
Mm-hmm.
envelope of what drag is. But I started taking my work into drag spaces, even if it wasn't traditionally what drag was meant to be, I suppose. But that's how I kind of started getting into that, and I guess it kind of just happened.
Love that. Anyone else want to share something on that subject?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of my like drag inspirations are women and non-binary folk who are very transgressive in their own rights. Like when I tell people, the kinds of folks I look to for drag inspiration, I think of, Karen O from the Yeah Yeah Yeahs. I think of Bjork. I think of Shirley Manson from Garbage. And those are all people who do what they do very well and very differently. And those are things that I admire about them and things that I wish to emulate in my creativity. So, like, from the very get go, from day one, I don't know exactly how I wanted to make that happen, but that was always a goal, just in general, just because that's where I draw inspiration from.
I love that. I mean, transgressiveness, you said that word, right? I feel like that's the perfect word to encompass things that you all do. Because I mean, it's what this panel is about. It's about pushing boundaries and setting an example and being completely unique. Um, so, do you think that the subversiveness of, I feel like you answered it a little bit, Arson. Actually, I'm gonna point this at Hungry. Hungry, may I have your attention?
Okay, hit me.
So, is the subversiveness of your drag intentional, or is it a side effect of you just bringing your vision to life?
It is it is both, but mostly because when I started drag, I kind of had the approach of I either want this to be something that has a unique character or I don't want it to be anything at all. Like I was very strict about how I would want this to end up. I wasn't sure where it would end up, but I was kind of very strict about the general idea of drag that I had. I had just kind of the manifesto of like if you're not bringing anything new to the table, then why are you there? And like that I really applied to myself and also to other people, but that I learned really fast didn't really come out of a good place. It kind of was just like a negative thing of like, well, you're just kind of like doing this, you're just doing that. But it was more like as it went on, I kind of learned it for me being like, I'm really strict about what I do and how I do it. So I really wanted it to be something completely different. And had I not succeeded, I probably would not be here doing this today.
I There was something you said there that I absolutely loved. So you used the word strict several times,
Yes.
and I feel like that is such a perfect word to encompass an artist because just like that whole entire sentiment, it's like I want my art to be my art or not have it at all. Like why go halvesies? Why not go the full mile? And I think that's really important to think about when you're trying to compartmentalize. Is that the right word? Like you're trying to take your art and create a thing, like put it into a physical thing. Um, it's important to have integrity to your vision. I love that. This is so exciting for me. I'm just like sort of gushing just hearing y'all speak about it because I feel like you three are seen and you're putting your art out there, but like you're not. Sometimes the art speaks for itself, but sometimes you want to know like what is going on in here. And I think it's really important to make the space for that kind of thing. Also, we're getting donations for charity. Yes, thank you so much, everybody. So, all the drag here is provocative in some kind of way. It makes you think. And how do you like? It makes people think. And so, how do you want people to think of your drag? What kind of impression do you want to leave? Like, I like to think of. For me as an artist, I always try to think of feelings. Like, I want my makeup to have this feeling. I want this outfit to have a feeling. I want it to be romantic or deep or moody or something like that. And what sort of feelings do you want your audience to experience when they're coming into your world?
I love that. I love that you just like want to kind of get it down to a few words.
Yeah.
And I feel I'm not sure. It depends on the look, because for me, my looks are all very different, and then the feeling of these looks are all very different. But generally, I think I want there to be a fascination, of course. Like I do want to pull them in. So I guess I would want them to be fascinated, but also I kind of want to bring along some misery. I feel like that's kind of what I try to accomplish with my performances as well. Like I'm trying to make the whole idea of drag a bit less upbeat, a bit less well energized. I like to take it down a bit, drag it down if I have to.
A depression session. That's what we call.
Yeah.
That's what Lady Lay actually calls a depression session. Yeah. How about you two, Arsen, Yovska? What kind of feelings do you want someone to go through when they are part of something that you're doing?
I think my favorite feeling to elicit from folks is sort of exemplified in moments where I'm doing a performance, like a lip sync performance to a song that I know and love that may be a little bit more on the obscure side. And this will happen mostly at like live shows where I'll do a show and then I'll say hey to folks who came to the show afterwards. And there's always like one person who comes up to me and they're like, I love that song so much, and I didn't know anyone else loved it too. And like the fact that I got to see that song like on stage is like so remarkable. So just to like reach out and make those connections and make people feel like they're not alone, like they're not crazy for loving the things that they love. That's like that's what I want people to walk away with, is a sense that they're not alone.
Absolutely. That's I feel like that's drag to a T. It's community. I mean, that's why this whole event is happening right now. And that's why any of us go to the club or any of us join the Team Stream Queens or, go to places where we're seen because there's that community and there's that connection. I love that so much. Yovska, how about you?
I think for me, a big part of the reason why I like doing what I do is because I really enjoy seeing people's reactions to my stuff. Um, I tend to go for a more kind of provocative sort of reaction. I like when people react in like a oh what the fuck am I looking at sort of way.
You're an
It's just
extremist.
pardon.
You're an extremist. You go extreme with your art and it really elicits something from people.
Yeah, and I think that's really funny, like maybe sometimes I want to evoke, a feeling of fear or maybe like a feeling of curiosity or a feeling of like, oh my god, that's so cute. But I like to like always have like a little bit of a twist. So maybe it'll be like a really cute, like I don't know, like bear or something, and then you look down and she has like the biggest tits you've ever seen. Or maybe I want to do something where I'll be like an anthropomorphic mop and I'll be mopping the floor, and people walking will be like, "What the fuck am I looking at? How am I supposed to react to this?" And I think that also comes kind of like from a performance art aspect where I just don't necessarily just want to entertain. I also want to provide some sort of commentary or thought-provoking aspect to what I'm doing as well, beyond just the entertainment aspect. I mean, there's nothing wrong with just being an entertainer, but I also
Right,
like to
right.
add a little something to it just for my own enjoyment to see people's reactions.
Absolutely. I mean, that's I mean, it's no question that y'all do that. Also, Yovska, can you just like move from side to side for me? Just yeah, the little danglies, and like there's like a little sparkle of your eyes behind the mask. Like it's so cool. It's just so cool to look at you.
Oh my gosh. Thank you, Peppa.
Of course, baby. Okay, I want to ask something. So, y'all are so iconic, truly, with the way that you present yourselves. Um, was there ever a time where, like, maybe when you were starting, or maybe when you were going into it, like, did you ever feel like maybe I should go conventional with my drag? Maybe I should try like a more natural makeup, or maybe even like, did you ever try it like just like, oh, I want to see what people's reactions are because I'm so extreme, and now let's just do a sexy, pretty, and pink look and just see what people react with. So did do you delve into regular beauty sometimes, or did you try it first and it didn't work out, or it didn't inspire you? Like, just shed a little bit of light on conventional beauty for me. Anyone?
Um,
All right. Hello. Hello, everyone. Are we here? Do you see us? Hi. Welcome back to
Hi.
the art of setting oneself apart. Apologies, everybody. Pose. Ooh. Ooh. Fashion. Fashion. Hi, everyone. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. It's the horrors of live streaming. But here we are. We're here. We're queer. We're doing things, and it's happening. So where were we? Does
You
anyone
were
know?
I think you were asking about times when maybe we've decided to try traditional drag or something
Right.
like that.
Yes, yes. And I
And
believe that you were sharing something. Oh, there you are. Yes. Hi. Hi, Yovska. You're on the
hi.
big screen. What's up?
Oh
Tell
my
us some.
big screen. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah, no, I was saying that like yeah, I think I think when I first started, I had thoughts about doing I guess a more traditional drag besides what I usually do. And a lot of it also came from like the fact that like I think back then it was a little harder to get bookings as a more alternative performer, since people wanted to see what was on Drag Race or that kind of style. So when I first started, I've had like thoughts of like trying that kind of stuff, and I guess I tried it a little bit, like just on myself. And with me, it didn't really click. I don't think it was really for me because like drag is supposed to be I guess, an expression of yourself as well. And so for me, I didn't
Hmm.
really feel like I could express myself in that manner that much. And also too, like I'm just like, I think I should just stick to what I feel I'm good at. And I think that's also like a big part of the aspect of the drag that I do. I try to stick around with the skills that I have and what I know that I like doing and that I'm good at and just kind of improving on that, I guess.
Absolutely. Use the skills where you know you'll be successful. Rather than, trying to do what other people do when they're good at that, but you might not be, right? Um,
Yeah, I guess it's just kind of like doing something like for yourself that you enjoy doing because you enjoy doing it. Not really
absolutely.
because other people are expecting it from you or maybe you feel like people are expecting you. Maybe they're not really, but maybe you feel like they are.
Absolutely. I saw both Hungry and Arson nodding at this question. Who wants to go first?
I'm easy.
Okay. Hey.
Hey. Well, I mean, for me especially, this was like a big question, kind of starting in the whole idea of making drag more than just a hobby. And when I just started drag, it like drag itself was still quite new to like the like younger Berlin club scene, and so it was easy being like, oh, I'm gonna be like one of the pretty queens now. I'm gonna be like one of the young gorgeous faces, and so it just started as being like, okay, I'm just like one of the girls and I'm gonna look amazing. But then like Yoska said, like I didn't feel fulfilled in it creatively. And then when I ventured off into like whatever it then was I was doing, I realized a lot of the things that the other people were getting offered, a lot of the bookings, a lot of the also then commercial bookings that came around eventually because Germany kind of like caught on to the trend of, oh, drag is like this thing that's happening. Um, like they didn't reach me anymore. And so I had this struggle of, well, the things that I'm doing are fulfilling me, but also they're not getting me anywhere. People aren't understanding me. And I think that's something we probably all had to like go through and then eventually overcome to be like, no, this is actually worthy of everyone's attention and worthy of everyone's appreciation and maybe even admiration. I just had to be persistent in it, being like, no, this is worth it. And I know the worth of it. And maybe the other people aren't knowing it. Maybe I'm just ahead of my time. Like these things really just, they, they kind of kept me going in not going going safe in that sense. But then now that I feel more, I'd say like secure and accomplished in what I do and what I am bringing and brought to it, I now do venture a lot in like the classical drag because now it is a fun surprise and now it's just something to just play with.
It's more
It's
for
less
fun than having to establish yourself as
exactly,
worthy.
yes.
Hmm.
Because back then everything I did had to be something that had to like shape out what I was and who I was. And now I can throw in a few little things that I just do for enjoyment.
Absolutely. Like the establishment phase. That's what anyone in any any line of work has to go through is like, this is what I do, this is what I'm good at. I can do other things for fun, but this is what I do. And I think it's really interesting that you mentioned, you sort of touched upon how you had to sort of flirt with more palatable drag, like drag that is easily digestible. But then you made that artistic choice. No, this is what I want everyone to see. I don't want to fall into that other kind of thing. I think that's really important.
Is it okay if I add something to Hungry's thing?
Yeah, please.
I just wanted to add that someone who, when I was a starting performer or a young performer, I really remember seeing your art on Instagram and just being so blown away by it. So I wanted to say thank you for continuing to do your art, because it was definitely a big inspiration to what I do as well, and wanting to stay true to my own art. And I'm like fangirling a little bit, because it's like, oh my god, so cool. I get to be on a panel with Hungry, someone that like I like looked up to when I started my stuff. So yeah, I just wanted to add that in.
Oh, thank you, thank you. No, I mean these things are definitely like things that make the struggle worthwhile. All of this, like seeing performers that or like artists that I admire myself now, like having been influenced or like having been inspired by whatever it is I'm doing. Like these things, because especially when I was touring a lot, I kind of felt like it was watering down a bit, because a lot of the audiences were sometimes kind of not the people I wanted to reach, and it wasn't like the weird queer kids that I kind of wanted to get to, because and then I didn't like, at times I wasn't sure if it was actually reaching anyone anymore. And so it's thank you very much. No, it
Yeah,
means
no, your name is definitely known around all the alternative kids here. So
Globally. And also, I wanted to say thank you, Hungry, for painting yourself as me. That means a lot. Uh, icons supporting icons. Everybody, y'all, we have the dynamic follow button in here. So in case you're meeting someone new, in case you've never seen them on Twitch before, the green heart, you can follow each and every one of these amazing people all day long. Just hit the green heart, you can follow. Arson, would you like to add anything to the conversation about conventional beauty, or how iconic these panelists are, or how amazing you are? Just give me something, Arson. I'm so desperate for something.
Well, two things. One,
Please notice me.
I have to say what Yovska said, but for all three of you, like seriously, like the fact that when Deer sent me the list of people who was going to be on here, I was like, I mean, if you want me to do this, sure, but like this is like some star power, and people, like not just star power, but people who have like influenced me and who I look to for inspiration and where to go to next. So like thank you for making that happen, even though you may not even have been aware of it. Seriously, y'all are amazing. And I'd
So are
like to
you.
add,
So are you.
well, thank you.
Just had to interject there, but please go on.
I'd like to add to the question as well. I mean, a lot of times I feel like the pressure to maybe conform artistically is a lot more implicit. I feel like most of the time it's sort of like it's not necessarily told to you outright that you need to like change things or should change things in order to maybe appeal to more people. But I actually have had a couple of instances where like really early on, I had like a promoter who no longer works in my city like pull me to the side and was like, hey, I would really love to hire you for this job to like host a monthly show, but you need to, blend a little bit more. You need to wear like top lashes a little bit more. You need to, maybe fix wear this type of outfit or whatever. You need to like, spend a little bit more money. And then, if you do that, then like maybe we can talk. Um, and like I had like a photo shoot once, a little further down the line for like a prominent publication where they like really wanted to feature my face, and they were like, I was painting in the studio and they were like, actually, can you like maybe blend the line like on your cheek just like a little bit more, just so it can like appeal, like specifically like so that it can appeal to more people. So sometimes the pressure is like really explicit in that way too. It actually kind of like I look back on that, I'm like, damn, like that's some audacity to like tell someone to like
Yeah,
change
yikes.
like their face, which is their calling card. Like I can't imagine like asking any of you to do that for literally anything. So it's still kind of like it kind of makes me laugh looking back on it. And in all of those instances, I just sort of like laughed and was like, yeah, sure. And then just like did not go along with it. And it ended up working out in the end. So always, that's the thing that I always tell people, like, no matter what, whether it comes to alternative drag, staying true to yourself, like in literally any situation, like if it feels bad in your gut, say no. No is a complete sentence. Your intuition, like knows things that you don't know, and like go with that, and you'll be golden more often than not.
Thank you so much for that. I mean, I can't imagine like that little example, that little story. I feel like that's a perfect conversation to have with Hungry and Yovska. Like, have people told you before, like, your drag is doesn't make sense? Like, please change that. I feel like you touched upon it a little bit, but like, do you have any stories to share about how like someone wanted you to change something and it just didn't feel right? Because that
Um,
sucks.
I think, yeah, no, honestly, like that's so disrespectful here. I think just people that don't do drag, or even sometimes people that do drag, just don't have like the same level of respect for other people's work when it doesn't meet, I guess, what in their brain they think is drag, when it's just such an open umbrella at this point. So I can't imagine like someone like just like asking you to do that when they, like they know that kind of art that you do. That's just so disrespectful. For me, I've never been someone that like I don't care. Like if you don't want to book me, I do not care, bestie. I don't have to do this drag
You're
for
good,
you.
bestie.
Like I
Someone
would
else
not,
will
like
appreciate
I'd
it.
rather
Someone else
not
will
do a
book
gig
you.
than like have to do what someone tells me to do. Like, okay, fuck it, bitch. I'll just, like I'll do anything, but like I'm not gonna do it for you.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Hungry, anything to add on that point?
Well, I wouldn't say I was specifically asked to change my vision for specific things. There was clearly like events that had kind of like a theme, so I kind of had to work along that. But most of the times when it came to like yeah, productions, they usually don't quite understand what's happening in my face, so they wouldn't really dare to tell me to like change that one thing or that one thing.
And you'll stare daggers at them. You're already
And
staring daggers right now, so they wouldn't even speak to you.
I'm sometimes seeing it like when there's like a publication and they edit things. I see that they don't know what to edit because it's just they
The
don't know where
retouching
things
gets
are supposed
messy.
to be and all of these things. I'm like, yeah, that's
I can
okay.
absolutely see that. Well, that whole this whole idea that we're talking about, it makes me think like sometimes art is so outside of the norm that it you can't really wrap your head around it. And so it's it's a surprise, but it's not a surprise that someone would say like, "Oh, change your makeup," or like, tone it down or something like that. But the thing is, and I know this about all three of you, on top of that, many, many different drag artists and artists in general. It's like there's the people, and it might sound shady, but it's not to be shady at all. But it's like there's the people that just do the thing they're doing because it's expected of them, or like it gets them to the gig. Like I want to be a dancing diva. I want to dance the house down boots. So I'm gonna put myself in drag. I'll just wear some hair and wear some makeup, and the dancing is the focus. But for all y'all, the aesthetic is the focus. The aesthetic, I mean, it's not the only focus. There's plenty other things too. But it's like it's intentional. It's on purpose. It's not like everything that's here is on purpose. Arson, you're not wearing top lashes. That's not an accident. You thought about it. You made it deliberate. It's a deliberate on purpose choice. Just like Yovska's thing, Hungry's thing, all the things that we do that make us special, it's on purpose. And it is so like it's so disheartening because I'm an artist. So like I see all three of you and I'm just like I'm foaming at the mouth. I'm like, oh my god, what are they gonna do next? Like what like it just blows my mind. And then other people will just be like, I don't think they did that right. That doesn't fit, or that doesn't go where it goes, but it does. And so I just like, in case anyone is listening and you've ever questioned a drag artist or an artist in general, just think about the intentionality. It could be that the vision is exactly as they want it to be, and here it is right in front of you. But I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with that, but it's just like it's really disheartening that art is taken for granted, and it's like just change this little thing. But it's like that little thing is exactly how it needs to be. Something to think about.
I think it's just something that's about finding the right audience for you, you know, because no matter what you do, no matter what you're into, there's always someone that's gonna be into what you do, whether that be, you know, like in the bedroom or like in drag, or you know, like
Ooh.
it's just like doesn't really matter at this point. Like there's like what, like almost 8 billion people on this planet. Someone's bound to like what you do, and if one person likes it, then I'm sure there's other people that will like it as well, you know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That actually reminds me of something. There was a long time ago, I tweeted at Arson. Do you remember Arson? I was at Nordstrom. I was in the back. I was on my break at Nordstrom, and I saw you tweeting about something. I feel like it was about maybe what you just said, how it's like someone wants me to change my makeup or someone wants me to do something different. And I remember I tweeted at you. I was like, if someone doesn't like something, maybe it's not for them. I said something like that. And I feel like that's what any artist should internalize, is like, if someone doesn't like this, it's not for them. There's someone else out there that will appreciate it. And I think that's it's really important to keep that perspective so that we don't get frustrated with our art, because it can be really frustrating, especially in that establishment phase. If someone doesn't if people aren't appreciating it as much as we'd like, it's easy to feel stuck and unappreciated. But y'all are amazing, all of you here, and everyone in the chat too. Just keep doing what you do and do what you believe in. Seriously.
I'd like to add something
Yeah.
more to that. That might be
You disagree?
slightly not as slightly. No, but the thing is, that was completely my mentality when I started up. I was like, oh, it's not for them. It's not for them. And so I even like kind of zoned out the voices that were trying to help me with like fair criticism. So it really is about like, who can you trust giving you like good feedback?
That's a
Because
good
at first I was
perspective.
like, no, I'm perfect. I'm perfect. They just don't see it yet. But now I would be like, why didn't you listen just there? Because they had a point and you just noticed it like 2 years later. Like it's so just make sure you know who you would take advice from and then do that.
I think that makes sense. Surround yourself with people that are like-minded and people that understand it. Like someone can say like, "Oh, you should try this," but they understand where your vision is coming from, as opposed to that person at Arson's shoot where it's like your makeup isn't blended and it's like, "Bestie, we know. We know it's intentional. The way it looks is intentional. It's not that it's unblended, it's that it's how it should be." But it never hurts to speak with other artists and get different perspectives and have different jumping points. And that actually leads into a really good topic. So, where do y'all draw inspiration? It's like mind is blank, blank slate. We want a new look. Where do we go to source thoughts and brainstorm and stuff like that? Because I mean, it's mind-boggling what y'all do. So, give me some insight. I need to be inspired. I look basic. Teach me.
I mean, dear, you know this, but I consume fashion shows like I consume dinner. Like I just watch as much as possible, and I may not necessarily take detailed notes all the time, but that sort of visual research is I come from like a theater performance and design background, and one of the things that is a pillar of that sort of deal is like your research, whether you're researching a character's mannerisms or if you're like a scenic designer, researching architecture and environments. No matter what it is that I'm doing, like research is the foundation for it, not just for like new ideas, but also um, in an attempt to understand what the rules are, because we talk a lot on this panel about like, breaking boundaries. And in order to do that effectively, believe that you need to know where those boundaries are, because if you know the rules, it's a lot easier to break them. So in a lot of ways, not only am I like gathering ideas from places like art museums and fashion, and other, like written text and stuff like that, but I'm also like checking around like what's going on with sort of more quote unquote like conventional stuff, just so I can make work that responds to that in addition.
Thank you, Dr. Arseniki. That was very, very eloquently spoken. Thank you. Um, Hungry or Yovska, do you have anything to add to that? Like where well Yovska, you I know that you pull a lot of inspiration from cartoons and pop culture.
Yeah, for me, I think it's a really eclectic mix of things. But what I try to keep as my guideline is I try to have kind of like envision a world for my characters, and maybe they're all kind of from like the same sort of world. Because I guess as opposed to other kind of drag artists that have a reoccurring kind of persona, I tend to change up my looks drastically a lot between each outfit. But I try to keep things that kind of are related to each other. So maybe a lot of motifs. I love clowns. I collect porcelain clown dolls, so I have a collection of that. I use that for inspiration. Or if I'm feeling a little bit trying to appeal more to the mainstream, I'll like pull like a well-known character like Sonic, and
Oh
give her
my
huge
goodness.
tits,
Yeah.
and kind of work around that. But it's all kind of
So
within
good.
the kind of the same practice of how I make my stuff to kind of keep that same kind of Yovska look. But yeah, I do like to pull from a lot of things as long as I can try to make it in my own style. And it's a lot of horror, paranormal, cutesy, but not so cutesy sort of vibes.
An eclectic mix, absolutely. Hungry. How about you? Where do you draw inspiration? I mean, I see you in a cave and I always see you in like earth tones and you definitely used the right words earlier like what was it? You didn't say despair or moody, but you said something adjacent to that.
Miss Misery.
Yes, misery. So we draw inspiration
Um,
from misery. Can you shed more light on what that means to you?
well, no, I feel like my creative approach might be kind of a mixture of what we've heard. I mean, I do like to call it or to categorize it as um set my creations in an alternate universe where it still was based on like a human, but they just had to evolve different ways. So that's why I like to kind of stay in the realm of like, okay, this is a human body, but like, what did it have to do to adapt to a different living situation, a different world, a different planet? And that kind of grounds me in like the conceptual sense, and then I can take it from there into different aspects of it. And then since I'm coming from a fashion design background and the costuming as well, I do love to kind of pull inspiration from that and from more more fashion history than um the recent designs, recent shows, but I do like to collage it kind of together to in the costuming, in the look, get at least like three references together, mix in my vibe, and then really create something that feels fresh, um, but also isn't bound to like trends in that sense, because that was always a thing I had to struggle with in school, because I never wanted to like work along the trends, and I wanted it to be just like the character and the creation, and they were always like, well, it's kind of more costuming and then fashion. Okay,
Right,
why am I doing
because
costuming now?
the editor always wants it to fall into like that commonality theme in terms of fashion, right?
Yes, I mean, my school was also, they wanted it to be commercial, to a sense of like, okay, you need to make a living with this. But I was just like heads in the cloud, being like, no,
Editorial, mama.
editorial.
Couture,
Um,
runway. I love that.
and then so when it comes to a new look, I just do like, either I have something here that I'm already inspired by. A lot of the times it's just a pair of shoes,
Hmm.
and then I kind of like build something around that, or I just see like a piece of fabric. I mean, I just saw this, like when I saw this fabric, I was like, okay, the fabric, I can feel the fabric, I see the fabric, I want something structured out of it. I want something with like kind of this inspiration. And then it really starts like from a small swatch of something. And I do like for that to really take inspiration from nature. If it's just like a moth wing, there's some really fantastic South American moths that are just looking gorgeous. And just if it just take the structure of it, the texture of it, the colorization, the pattern, and then just like build something out of that, just kind of blow it up, and then put your stamp on it, like at the end when it comes to the makeup. That's kind of like always the last thing for me. I never think about the makeup when it comes to the whole creation. So it always like, it starts with the actual making of the look, and then I see what even makes sense with this from the catalog that I then acquired throughout the years of my makeup. And then I kind of just like push it all together, collage something in there, and then it usually works out.
I love that. I love that so much. Um, I had something to say, and now like I just fell into all these different monologues of your histories and the way that you construct and conceptualize, and I'm just like blown away. Um, so I swear I had something to say, but I forget because that's just astonishing. I'm left speechless, I guess. Well, Hungry and Arson, I feel like you both touched a little bit on my next question. It's like, what other art do you do? So, um, d just tell me some background of what kind of art you all do. So Hungry, you just mentioned you went to fashion school, right?
Yes, yes, I went to fashion school, just doing a fashion design bachelor, in which I also had like a year abroad, which I then did in London doing internships in fashion, and where there I saw like the drag scene there, which really inspired me to go more creative, because they really were like years ahead of Berlin. And so I have that fashion degree, and then I did makeup training for, well, basic, but I say basic, but like I had makeup training and
Beauty. It's
special
called
effects training,
beauty.
beauty essentials and special effects. I had that training in Berlin, and then I was kind of working from that freelancing, and then this year, early this year, I started a master's program for costume design because I figured I have time
Amazing.
now and I'm kind of stuck here, so might as well use it.
You better work it. You better do it. I mean, that shows in all the drag and all the art that you put into the world. I mean, the training and the history that you have there. So
Yeah, I'm really
that's
big on just
amazing.
like technical skill. That's why I'm just kind of like I keep just looking for that. I keep looking for more ways to just learn technical things. So whenever people say like there is no rules to makeup, I'm like, yeah, but there's the technical rules.
There,
There's a lot of
there's
them.
no rules, but there are techniques. I think that's
Yeah.
very important because I am a makeup artist. My history is as a makeup artist, so it's like there's technique. There aren't rules, but there are techniques to get you to your vision. So I respect that completely. Yovska, what about you? What's your history with art? Because you made all this that we're looking at, right? I mean, I'm hungry. You made what you're wearing, correct?
Yes.
Amazing. And then Yovska, you constructed this as well. So what is your history with art?
So I
Or
ended up
what do you do if it's art or not? Just what do you do outside of drag to express yourself?
so I ended up I went to university majoring in like textiles and like fiber arts. And I went in thinking I wanted to do like fashion and things like that. And I ended up, like kind of dabbling into costume and drag. And it's funny too because a lot of the stuff I would also make would be like stuffed animals or stuffed plushies.
How
And so I guess
cute.
that kind of went into what I do now. Um, it's kind of funny. I mean, I guess you can kind of see it. I could
Oh,
be I could turn into a marketable plushie.
oh, absolutely. And I see your tendrils are stuffed, just like a Build-A-Bear. So that's
Yeah,
amazing.
so like a lot of those like stuffing techniques that I would use on when I used to make like stuffed animals or stuffed toys, I ended up using in my drag. And there's a lot of demand now for people to people are like, Yopska, when are you gonna make Yopska dolls? And I'm like, I'll get around to it. Because sometimes it takes a while, and I'm like, rather just make like, a new look with that
Yeah.
time. Like, I don't know.
Like what who needs a doll when you are the doll?
But I'll try to get around to it probably. I keep saying it, but I probably will. I mean, I've started making like little like stuffed pins, kind of. Actually, is there one I can show you?
Show us, bestie. Sell it to us.
It's not here. Well, anyways, but
Well,
yeah,
it's wherever it is, it's probably cool,
it's behind
maybe.
me. I'd have to stand up and walk over, but
I dare you. Just kidding. So thank you so much, Yovska. I mean, that shows completely in your drag 100%. Arson, how about you? You touched upon it a little bit. You have some like, I think you mentioned costuming and like stage kind of stuff, right?
Yes. First of all, I apologize. The apartment decided to vacuum really
Oh,
loudly outside my room right as we asked this question. So thanks for taking my rent and making this happen.
woo!
Yeah, I've been working in theater professionally for 15 years. I drag figures into about 6.5 of those years. And I went to school and got a degree in theatrical performance, but it was a more like broad-based program. So they required us to do like design classes. Makeup was one of the classes that I had to take for school, and of course like acting, Shakespeare, all that fun stuff. So that's mostly where my focus has been. But of course, with drag comes so many other types of things. Fashion. I've been like DJing a lot over the last 4 years. Music has been sort of a newer addition to the repertoire, but I'm a creative person through and through. So if it wasn't going to be theater, it was going to be something else. But that's mostly where my background is, and that's mostly what informs the type of work that I make.
Love that. I mean, it's no surprise that y'all have actual like history and working experience with the arts, generally speaking, because it shows in what you put out into the world 100%. It's just unmistakable. I think I already said something like this before, but it's just unmistakable that y'all are artists, and you're incredible to behold. And you could just, I'm sure that y'all can relate. You could just see, when someone is an artistic or creative person, just from looking at them or looking at what they put out into the world. So I just love hearing all y'all speak. Um, we don't have too much time left, but I would like to ask y'all, what is your signature look? Like, if we made a billboard of you tomorrow and it had to be your iconic favoritist look that you just like, you only get to choose one look to be seen for 50 years, what would be your go-to look? And you can describe it. It doesn't have to be like, oh, this spread in like whatever. You can describe something new that evokes what you feel. But go tell me.
Um, I guess for me, I'm described a lot as like a little stuffed goblin, so probably some sort of stuffed goblin, or my iconic axolotl
Oh,
outfit from
so
the Dragula
incredible.
season 3 promo, where I
Hmm.
was blowing bubbles and was dressed like an axolotl.
So good. So good. Arson, what about you?
Um, for a pride celebration one time, I had a designer make this Margiela inspired transparent plastic vinyl dress smushed with like these like yellow and red ruffles, and I would wear that with my favorite yellow wig with like the harsh bang that like comes up to here. It's my favorite
Oh
haircut. It's my
yes.
favorite dress. So combine the two and we've got a winner.
Boom. Love it. Hungry, how about you? What would be your go-to iconic, just this is the only look that someone can look at, see you in for some reason. Who knows why?
Jesus.
It'll be at your
Um,
funeral. You said misery. It's the picture they put up at your funeral.
Oh
Go.
no.
okay. Well, if it's a funeral one, maybe the 80s businesswoman that ended up in my, or that actually was kind of made for that Vogue video.
Oh,
The one with the
yes.
big fluffy
With
hair and the very
yes.
businessy look, or the fully stoned reptile, because she's very dear to my heart, but she's also very uncomfortable.
I
So
can
what's that
imagine.
for?
I can imagine. Okay, well, we only have a moment more. I want to say thank you so much, you three, for showing up today, being a part of this. It's so like, this is a dream come true for me to just like talk and gush over art and beauty and pushing boundaries of beauty and like details and stuff like that. So before we go, I would like y'all to reintroduce yourself in case anyone is just tuning in. Tell us what you do, what you're from, where you're from, where to find you. Just a few words. So go ahead, Arson.
You can find me on Twitch and Instagram and YouTube at Arson Nikki. Arson like the felony, Nikki like Minaj, spelled like Minaj. And yeah, I want to see you again sometime.
See you later. Go ahead, Hungry. Tell us what you do, who you are, what you're all about. Where can we find you? Where can I follow you?
Yes, I'm still hungry. Berlin-based visual artist, performer, yada yada, all that. I am on Twitch streaming twice a week, Mondays and Thursdays, at Hungxiety. and I am on, well, mostly Instagram, a bit on Twitter now as is she hungry? Um, and yeah, it's the rest you can figure out yourselves. I'm very famous.
Google
Thank
her.
you.
Google this one. Google all three. Yovska, tell us a bit about you and what you want to leave the kids with. Give us a last impression. Where can we find you? What can we do to discover more?
Hi, besties. My name is Yovska, Canada's #1 sleep paralysis inducer. I do a lot of drag performance, drag creature, offbeat. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, at Yovska. That's at YOVSKA. And I hope to see you there. And we stream here on Twitch Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. So if you have nothing better to do and you want to stop by and come say hi, I'd love that.
Yes. I can't wait for a new social platform so I can take at Yovska. Um, Thank you so much, everyone here watching. I love y'all. Thank you so much for being at Stream Queens Con 2. Make sure you follow these dolls. Follow each and everything that they do because they're amazing. They're groundbreaking. They are pushing boundaries every single day, every single time they do drag. Thank you so much for raising for Amfar. We are benefiting Amfar all day with merch, and we also have a Tiltify donation link in the chat.